Hi, and welcome to the Ready for Love podcast with Auret, the dating and relationship advice show dedicated to helping you create a single life you love, date with confidence and ease, and ultimately attract the love of your life. Thank you for listening.
Hello and welcome to today's episode. This is Auret, dating coach. So my guest today describes herself as a former couch potato who has transformed herself into somebody who is super passionate about helping more people to discover the benefits of being fit and healthy. She is, of course, a fabulous Zita Alves, personal trainer and founder of Zest Bootcamp, based in beautiful Bath in England. Zita went from being an asthmatic, overweight, non-exercising, stressed out marketing executive to become a personal trainer. And she has worked with hundreds of people over the last 17 years through her one-on-one personal training programs, group classes at Zest Bootcamp, and also online. You can find out more about Zita on zita.co.uk and also about Zest Bootcamp on zestbootcamp.co.uk. And as usual, all the links will be available for you in the show notes. So Zita knows what it's like to struggle with weight and fitness, and she wants to help anyone who is willing to try to learn how to be healthier and happier, which includes being a good role model for their children. Very exciting, in 2015, Zita won the Independent Business Award for Best Fitness Business in Bath and also the Women's Business Club Healthy Business of the Year Award at the Maximize Awards. So thank you so much for joining me today, Zita. I'm so excited to have you on the show.
Great to be able to talk to you. Thank you.
And also super congratulations on your awards last year.
Thank you.
Oh.
Yeah, really pleased.
Yeah, I can imagine. I think you should have won an extra award for that amazing pink dress that you wore too. You look incredible.
Definitely.
So, when I looked at your bio and I'm putting this together for the introduction and the bit about, where you come from, describing yourself as asthmatic and overweight and non-exercising, and obviously knowing you now and just looking at you and how amazing you look and so fit and healthy, I just can't, bring these two together almost. You're just like a new person, and I just wondered if you would just maybe share with us how that actually came about from then to now.
Yeah, I sometimes wonder. I'm now 45, and I look back and think, well, when I was 28, I was a real mess, and it's crazy, really. So I grew up asthmatic, and I wasn't actually allowed an inhaler as a child. So I never ran around and never did anything physical because I just got out of breath. So it was alien to me to kind of run around. And I struggled with my weight my whole life, in my teens, and up and down, and have done all the kind of diets and things, and which I now look back at with the education I've now got. I just think, why did I do that? It's just crazy. But the media sometimes tell you things, and it's not always true. So that's kind of really fueled my passion to help people and tell them the truth and be real. So I studied originally business and marketing. I studied because I thought that was the route I was going to go. I worked in a direct marketing agency for 4 years, and super stressful. We had horrendous workloads, and so I have empathy with people because I know that office lifestyle. I was the cake monster. When it was someone's birthday, I would be there having the second cake if there were any leftovers, and biscuits. I would drive to work and stop off to get chocolate on the way into work, and then have biscuits all day at work, and all this other stuff that I wouldn't imagine eating now, because I wouldn't want to feel like I felt then. I felt lethargic. I couldn't fit into my clothes. I had really bad psoriasis, and I had really bad joint pain as well, and just for my age was in a really bad way. So I changed agencies. Actually, I was made redundant almost immediately, and that kind of fueled my change, because I then went travelling South America for 4 months, which was something I put off after university because I went straight into a job. And I left the job that I was made redundant from. I had a company car and, good salary. And at that age, it was pretty good. But I just thought, I want to go traveling. There's just more. So I went traveling to South America. It'll be 20 odd years ago, I think. And it was a huge eye opener. Life out there is so different. And I just had time to reflect on things and get to know me. And when I came back, I literally heard on the radio, would you like to become a personal trainer? It was a radio advert. I remember it vividly, sitting in my lounge. And something inside me, I just knew that was what I was going to do. And I researched it and I asked my friends and they said, well, you're obviously passionate about it, because I thought it was strange that a non-exercising person would want to become a fitness professional, but something inside me I knew. Mm-hmm. So I retrained and did that, and I worked as a personal trainer for 10 years in 5-star hotel in Bath, and trained a whole variety of people. And then, as you mentioned, I set up boot camp in 2009. And through the years, I've done a whole bunch of different things, including have my own fitness product briefly. And I've learned a lot more during the years of helping other people, because you don't just do the qualification and then decide, you're just an amazing trainer. You learn, every single person I work with, I learn from. And that's led me now to realising that I want to work with, and my passion is to help particularly women. I work with all kinds of people, particularly women, particularly over 40-year-old women, to just feel better, and that is one of my passions, is to get older women to do all the things that they may not have done before, and they feel amazing, and I just love that. So that's I think that's how I've kind of got here.
Well, that's quite a journey, and obviously that wasn't just a kind of a short-term whim, because you've been solidly doing this for the last 17 years with all your heart, really. Yeah. I struggled, and as kind of maybe like some people might struggle starting a health or fitness program if they're not feeling very in shape, I really struggled, because I went on that course, I wasn't fit. I was surrounded by people that were super fit and understood everything about that world, and I really struggled, and it was a real challenge for me. And there were probably times when I did question, was it the right thing to do? But I got through it. And the twist in the tale is that actually when I was working in the hotel, personal training, is that I actually met my husband there, which I never would have expected, because I was on this new journey of, I've changed careers, I had no income unless I got clients. The way this personal training works is that if you don't have clients, you don't pay your mortgage. So I had to really succeed in my business. So all my energy and focus was in that. And probably more about the business than me in some respects. And my husband had a recent breakup, and he had decided that he was going to try and look after himself, his health and fitness. And that was why he saw my poster in the gym and said, well, I'd like to talk to her. And his first words were, I need a complete lifestyle change. And he didn't intend to marry me at that point, but he meant about his nutrition and his outlook and everything about what he needed to do. And that's how I helped him originally. And then further down the line, we got together. But that's a lovely story.
It's so it really changed my life. My career changed my life in an unexpected way.
Mm-hmm. So what was it, when things were a bit tricky, when you kind of, when you say you were struggling at times, what was your motivation to keep going? What was the thing that was driving you?
I realised at that point that I didn't ever want to be the way I used to be. This real lethargy and feeling rubbish. I mean, if you physically feel bloated and wake up in the morning with no energy and zest for life, then your whole mindset is poor. And I realised, and having things like psoriasis, which was clearly a lifestyle issue. My diet was the wrong kind of diet, and that could be totally addressed with nutrition. I know now, I didn't know that at the time. I didn't want to ever go back to being like that. I realised that there was a better way, and that there were people that didn't feel like that, lousy every day and bloated and horrible. And I just decided that the thing about fitness and health, no one else can do it for you. There's many things in life people can do for you, but absolutely no one can change your health and fitness. You have to take control and do it yourself. So you have to get through the tough times. And whether you need help to do that or you can manage it on your own, that's different. But, you have to make the decision that you're going to do it because no one else can do it for you.
Yeah, absolutely. No one can do the squats.
No,
right?
sadly.
I know it's not all about the squats, but they are important.
Yeah.
Well, I certainly find I've just turned 40 and gosh, things have changed. Whereas before I could have just kind of given up carbs for a week or so and things would kind of go back into shape. That's just not the case anymore. So I really find that I need to be much more conscious of everything that I do, and it's all connected. All the physical activity and what I choose to eat and not eat, and the way I look after my mind and my thoughts, and these are all things that you've mentioned so far. It's all about the lifestyle, isn't it?
Yeah. And in fact, yesterday I put something up, and I said, don't choose a diet with a start to the end date, but choose instead a lifestyle forever of healthy eating and healthy living. Mm-hmm. Because there is no start and stop. We have to, and that's why it's important to find what works for you, because different things work for different people, because you've got to be able to maintain it and sustain it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's so beautifully put. It's such an obvious thing, but I think, and you also mentioned the media earlier on. You do get bombarded with all sorts of programs and tricks and tips and try this and try that. And you kind of go from one thing to the next thing without actually making any real lasting change. But you just keep trying new things and they just don't work, do they?
No. And someone said to me, several times people ask me, what's the best exercise? Okay, what is the best exercise? Should I go running? And my answer is always the best exercise is the one that you're going to carry on doing, because you have to be consistent. You can't just do it crazy for a week. It has to be. There's three elements of fitness. It's quite a good way to think about, okay, is this going to work for me? It's FIT. So F is the frequency, how often you're doing something. Mm-hmm. So once a month ain't going to work. Intensity is how hard you're working. So if you absolutely could have a big chat or read a book while you're doing some exercise, it's probably not the right intensity. You need to push a bit harder. And then the T is the time, so how long you're doing it for. So if you just do a 2-minute workout, it's probably not going to work. Maybe if you do a 20-minute workout, you're going to get results. So it's just a really simple way of thinking, okay, I need to get the F, the I, and the T sorted, and that's why it's important people to find what works for them, what they enjoy doing, and what they're going to carry on doing.
I love that. That is so simple. FIT. Right, we'll make sure we make that very clear in the show notes so that's easy to remember. So, Zita, one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you specifically is quite a lot of the women that I'm in contact with that are in my community and some of my clients, they are usually sort of 35 plus, 40, 45. Many of them have either been single or by themselves for a long time, or they've come out of long-term relationships or marriages, and they just, they just don't feel that confident physically. And the whole idea of actually meeting somebody new and, basically getting naked again in future is quite a, it makes them feel very vulnerable. It's quite a scary thought. But I just feel like there's a bit more to all of that. So I just wonder, what advice would you have for somebody that's feeling vulnerable in themselves in terms of their body? And I don't mean just in terms of, being overweight, although that's something that gets talked about a lot. I actually have, I've spoken to somebody recently who feels that she's too skinny. So it's these are all various different issues and very layered. And I just wondered if you have any advice in terms of, relationship with your body and how we deal with that.
I think we're also self-critical. So but at the same time, it's fear of judgment by other people. You know, the thing we're scared of most after death is judgment by others, which is pretty crazy. And on the flip side of that, I heard someone recently say she does what she wants to do because she shows up every day. She shows up for her. She doesn't show up for anyone else in the world. She shows up for her. So if she wants to wear a backless dress, she'll wear it. And I mean, that's an amazing attitude, which is probably quite hard to believe for some people not feeling very confident. But if you think about it like that, you know, your body is your beautiful body and it's healthy. You know, we've probably all got aches and pains and issues and that. But generally, you know, we're lucky enough to have a body that moves and can function and that lives life the way it's meant to. And if there's a few wobbly bits here and there, you know, that's kind of so be it. And really, if generally men, what I would say is generally men love curves, but if you almost look in the fitness community, there's an obsession with being super lean and having this six pack and this body that as a woman is really hard to achieve. You know, we're designed to carry children. We're designed to have fat. We carry more body fat than men. It's natural. It's good. It's healthy. And we won't look like men. And, you know, we have got curves for a reason. So trying to just make the best of those curves would be what I'd say. And my whole philosophy is health. I start from a position of health. If you're healthy, you're probably going to be happy and your body will probably function better and look better in the clothes and out the clothes. And, you know, feeling... If people start to look after themselves, they'll feel better about themselves. It doesn't matter what size they are or if there's wobbly bits, but just the mere fact that they're looking after their body, and your body and your health is just your number one priority, because without that, everything else is pretty insignificant in my view. So just focusing on doing something will give you the confidence to feel better about yourself. Because I think, you know, I've gone through periods of doing nothing or just reverting back to some of my old tricks of, you know, just, I'll just have a coffee and some chocolate or something. And then I end up feeling rubbish. So it's just doing those little things.
Yeah. So it is just taking care of yourself, isn't it?
Yeah. And respecting yourself, respecting that, especially as women and mums. Everyone else comes on the list of priorities generally, and it's not selfish to look after yourself. It's not selfish to spend some time preparing a healthy food, as well as being a fantastic role model, which you mentioned. You know, I'm really key for that, because kids learn by watching, don't they? You know, if you eat the right breakfast and start the day well, the kids are learning that. If you drink the water, the kids are learning that. They're seeing that as just natural behaviour. But it's not selfish for you to say, I'm going to go off and do some exercise now. You know, that's looking after you. Why would you not look after you? Because you can't look after other people if you're not in a good place.
Absolutely. Well, I've certainly had times where, you know, exercising and going to the gym and so on was kind of just on my to-do list, and then it would just completely slip off my to-do list. But it's because it was just like another task, just something to get done. And I've gone through various phases in my life of being, you know, having a real kind of lifestyle choice around exercise and healthy eating, and then I would completely fall off the wagon and be so bad. And then I would bring myself back around again. And I mean, I've never managed to, you know, have this consistency for the last 20 years or whatever. It is such an up and down journey for me. But what I have realized is that everything in my life is better when I work out. Absolutely everything.
Yeah.
I'm more productive at work. I get 10 times more done than I usually do. It's just, I don't know, it's just everything. That's where it starts.
And for that reason, I'm a real fan of things like making your exercise make exercise ideally, doing it first thing in the morning, because there's absolutely... generally nothing else that can interfere with it. You know, you get up before everyone else does maybe, and you just get it done, and then you feel good, you feel positive for the rest of the day. So all the other habits, the healthy habits that could go one way or the other, generally go better that day. And your whole mood is lifted for the day and the people that you deal with. And so getting it done early is one of my tips, definitely.
Definitely. Actually, you just reminded me of an interview that I listened to. It was with Richard Branson on I think it was like a private business club or something. And somebody asked him, what is his top tip for being so productive, or the way that he does his work? And he just said that it's to work out.
Yeah.
So basically that sets the scene for the rest of the day. So just linking with what you say. So Zita, thank you so much. What other tips do you have for somebody who's looking to, they know that they need to do something or should do something to get their health and fitness and approach back on track? What are your other tips to get there?
So, I think that everyone is different, and therefore the solution will be different for everybody. And that's why I do personal training and I do group exercise. My personal training clients just they might be more introverted type personalities, and they don't want to be with another group. It's all about the focus for them. And then there's other personalities who absolutely thrive off the social element, and it's particularly if you work on your own, it's nice to get out with other people and do things. So that's where the group exercise works. So I think there isn't no one thing. If you kind of get to know your personality and then think what might be better for you, and some people want to train at home and just in the privacy of their own home. It's absolutely fine. Some people love the buzz of a gym. Mm-hmm. I am a super big fan now, because I've been doing it for a good while, of getting outdoors and exercising. We spend so much time indoors with machines and computers and artificial light, but just getting out in nature. And I know you're a fan of walking, which I love too. Getting outside in nature as much as you can, it just really mentally will help you as well. So, having a think, what would work for me of those things. It might be learning something new, and we do boxing a lot at boot camp and with one-to-one clients, and that is the one thing that pretty much 95% of women love to do, and they've never done it before, and they absolutely love it. And I've got a 50-plus-year-old client who's a very glamorous grandma, and she's amazing. Her attitude is fantastic. She's had very serious back surgery, etc. And that's one thing that she said that she just loves doing now, that she'd never thought she would have. And just coming back to her, actually, it is about attitude, because we can go around feeling sorry for ourselves and I don't want to exercise and I can't do this, can't do that. How about all the things you can do? And there's some things you can do, you don't even know you can do them until you try. And what's the worst that happens? You try it, you don't like it, you don't do it again. You've got you've got to get out your comfort zone. You've got to try things, and then you will get the rewards. But like I said before, no one can do it for you. So attitude is a big deal, because she could have said, I'm in agony with my back and I can't do X, Y, Z. But she hasn't. She's fought through, and we work on the things she can do, because there are things that she can do, and therefore she succeeds and feels good. And in her work life, she's more positive and confident, and her family life, and she's a great role model for her grandchildren and children. She takes them swimming. She's got strength to kind of throw them up in the air and things like that. So, sorry, I digress. What was your question?
Just more of your tips for somebody who is looking to either start or get back on track.
Yeah. So find what works for you. And I'm going to say another thing that I was guilty of this. I remember back in the day when I was bigger, I would wear, as my husband calls it, because when we first got together, I was still a little bit of that mindset, and my body was probably different back then. He said you just used to wear tents. I would wear like long skirts that were super baggy, covering everything, big jumpers, etc. And when you're not feeling great about yourself, the tendency is to revert to those kind of clothes, stretch things, and lycra's great, but it's not good for keeping the track of things. So we get t-shirts done at boot camp, and I never get big baggy t-shirts for women. Doesn't matter what their size are. I get V-neck, shaped like a woman, because we do have shape, t-shirts that they put on and they look amazing. So I think getting some nice kit and wearing something that makes you feel good, whether it's the right colours, is important. And as women, why not celebrate? If you want to wear bright pink, like I do, then wear it.
You know what? You just reminded me of something. I used to always wear these very sensible white trainers,
Yeah.
and nothing to look at all. Very comfy, but and well, this is some time ago now, but I bought myself these very, very bright pink trainers, and I know it's such a small thing, but you know the difference that made to me. I just love whether I'm walking or running. Not that I'm much of a runner, but you know, when I look down at my pink trainers, they made me so happy. So I totally relate to that. Was a very small thing, but actually that really pushed me to, you know, get them on and get out.
And just kind of a little bit off track, but everything's related, and I am quite holistic. You know, I kind of use all the elements and that I can with people. Having your colours and your style done by a colour fashion person, which I had done. Well, in fact, I would never have worn that pink dress on stage had I not had my colour and style done, and I just knew that was the right colour. It suited my personality, etc. And everyone's different. Not everyone comes out as being able to wear bright colours like that. But if you have the right colours and the right style for you blossom and you flow, and you may not need to lose loads of weight, but if you put the right clothes on, you know, and looking at relationships, people noticing you and you blossoming, then that's super important. And there's so many people that are out there can help with that part of it. And I'm a real, if I wasn't doing all the fitness things, I would train to do that myself, because I'm really passionate about how that helps women as well, in work and in relationships, everything.
Yeah, it's just showing more of who you are, isn't it? Rather than, well, I wear a lot of black, and that's you know, something I'm very aware of, that actually I feel different when I wear other colours, but I also really love wearing black. But you do really, you notice somebody differently when it's almost something you can pick up in their energy when they wear something that really suits them.
Yeah,
absolutely. So any other top tips?
So we talked about starting the day with exercise. That the other part of that, and so important, and a big part of what I do, is the nutrition. So starting the day with a good breakfast is very important, and it's kind of the time that we often are a bit manic, lazy, busy. So if you start the day with a sugary cereal, or sugar really is what we want to try and avoid, then it probably will set up you up bad for the day. Your brain chemicals won't be the same. So protein, I'm a real fan of protein for breakfast, whether it's eggs is the easiest really, fish, even some cold meats, and getting a greenery in. So maybe having a green smoothie with loads of good stuff in, your good fats and some protein powder, that kind of thing. There's no excuse really nowadays not to start with a good breakfast, and it will absolutely change your whole behaviour through the day, and as well as longer term weight loss. It's going to help with getting results, but you know, looking from the mental aspect, it's really important, and that's what I see with people that do change that.
Very good, very good. So tell us a bit more about the nutrition side of what you do, please.
So I've got a couple of cookbooks, and a lot of what I do is about eating gluten-free and sugar-free, definitely. But gluten can be a problem for a lot of people because it can cause inflammation in the body, and that could be in the form of skin or lethargy or bloating. Often people get bloating when I get them to give up gluten. Then they really notice that their stomachs are less distended, and even just that one simple thing could make a difference. So gluten is in wheat, and gluten's in several things, but wheat is the grain that has the most of it. And nowadays it's so much easier to avoid gluten, and really we should be eating a little bit more of natural foods that wouldn't have gluten in anyway. So that's my kind of nutritional stance. And eating real foods, and about eating more. Often women, I encourage them to eat more, but more of the better things, and not being scared of fat, because fat is really important for our body. So your nuts and your seeds and your avocados and things like that, you know, that's important. So it's about real foods, and I've come from a position of eating drinking copious amounts of Diet Coke and eating like dry rice cakes and things like that, thinking, oh, well, it's just all about calories and fat is evil and protein, well, what's that? And totally different. And I know that, I probably look younger than I did, because I'm giving my body the fats and things that it needs. And all my psoriasis, if I didn't eat the way I did, would probably come back. But with diet and nutrition, you can make a huge difference. And I think if you're not looking at nutrition from a weight loss point of view, but you look at it as in you're fueling your body. I mean, we put the right petrol in our cars. We don't. If we have a diesel car, we don't want to put petrol in it. We know it's not going to work properly. But why don't we think about our bodies like that? Yeah. When you choose to eat something, or the advert on the telly says, "Oh, this looks lovely and tasty," it's not necessarily to nourish your body. Just think about food is fuel. You put the right fuel in, like your car, you're going to feel fantastic. And it's connected to hormones. So as women start to enter menopause or perimenopause, that the hot flashes and things can be really affected by what you're eating. So, it's a huge part. I could talk about it forever.
Well, maybe we'll do that in future. We can do a specific podcast around that. It's I know this is a dating and relationship and podcast, but I just feel so strongly about the taking care of ourselves physically. That it's, but that's why I love to have somebody like you on here, because it is about the whole complete approach, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. I actually when I work with my clients, I don't ever give them fitness advice. Obviously I won't do that, but we always include some sort of physical component in the work that we do. So, whether they start walking for half an hour 3 times a day, or start drinking more water, or whatever the case may be, whatever they feel they can challenge themselves with physically, we also include that, just because it's just so important.
And I think it can be quite daunting to suddenly think, I've got all these things to do to make me healthier. I've got to do the exercise, I've got to do the nutrition. If people just think, okay, I'm just going to do one simple habit, like you said, water. That's the number one thing that nearly everyone doesn't do. They don't drink enough, and that's the one thing I make them do first, because in my view, that's kind of the simplest. It's free of charge, it doesn't take time, just to focus on that. And then you do that, and your concentration's better, everything's better because you're drinking more water, and then you feel good and motivated to do the next thing. And so just think about maybe one thing at a time, simple habits, little changes, but definitely with the water.
Big one on the water.
Yeah.
So, Zita, how do people actually get to, be involved with you more? Obviously, you run your amazing boot camps in Bath in a beautiful setting, and I can vouch for that because I did go there. And it was really tough enough. Thank you very much. So apart from the boot camps, what are the other ways that people can connect with you?
So I offer one-to-one personal training that I will see people in their own homes. That's Bath and Somerset. So that's much more bespoke. And then what I'm excited about, and this is where I want to go more of, is so many times people say, I meet them and they say, I can't come to Bath, or I wish I lived nearby, and I can't work with you, but I'd love to do something. So the new 8-week total shape-up plan, total body shape-up plan, is a way for people to follow a structured nutrition. It is at the moment only nutrition plan, and get group support. There's accountability. We have a private Facebook group, and it's all laid out, and people are getting fantastic results, and anyone can do it anywhere. So that's what I'm really excited about now.
Fantastic. So that's 8 weeks.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And we'll include the links to where people can find that in the show notes as well.
Yeah. It's I just wanted to mention a quick line I had from somebody who she was actually a coach that I had present somewhere, and I thought she was fantastic. So it's really a privilege to have her on the programme. She hasn't started long, and her husband's got involved with it as well, and she said, the pressure's been taken off me to think about what I'm buying. It's all done for me. We're no longer having mealtime debates. And she said, I'm sleeping much better despite having menopausal night sweats. So for me, that's fantastic. That's a real bonus. Yeah. And she just said it's inspired me to think differently about snacking, and it's reduced my mood swings associated with sugar lows. So a lot of our mood, this just highlights how much food, eating the wrong things, particularly sugar, can be affecting our mood. So if we feel down and low, you might not want to go and date or feel confident about yourself. So if you can kind of trace it back to, okay, if I get my nutrition right, then a lot of this other stuff's going to get better. Then, that's what I'm really keen to help women with.
Yeah, and you absolutely practice what you preach, which is always good to know.
Yeah,
absolutely. So, Zita, we're going to wrap up shortly. Is there anything else that you wanted to?
Oh, I mentioned the cookbook. I'd love to get people to eat more. I'm a real passionate about breakfast person, as you can tell. So in my cookbook, which is separate from the 8-week plan, it's a 90 recipe cookbook, and there's 30 breakfast, lunches and dinners. And they're gluten-free, so that will work well with anyone who's kind of celiac or intolerant of gluten, and they're mainly dairy-free as well. So I'd like to offer people that download for free of charge, and there's some great smoothies in there and breakfast ideas that they probably haven't thought of. And the feedback is that people carry on doing the meals, and kids love the meals, the dinners and things like that as well. So it just takes that decision making. Just go, okay, here's a plan, I'm going to follow these, and just find some different ideas, and you know that it's going to be nutritious and delicious.
Gosh, thank you. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. Oh, wonderful. So we can just include the link as well on the show notes, and people can just literally click on the link and download it's like a PDF.
Yes, it's a PDF. Yeah.
Oh, Zita, that's wonderful. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
I'm definitely downloading it. Absolutely. It is, like you say, it is, just having the thinking done for you. That's a massive help. Yeah, definitely. So we're going to wrap up, and I just want to say thank you so much for sharing your experiences and your story and your wisdom. And it's just so good to speak to somebody who live and breathe their message every day, and I know that you are one of those people. So thank you so much. Do you have any parting wisdom for us, for anybody who's listening that's
I do have
to go?
This.
Yeah.
I did a little video. I sometimes record videos on the beach when I go down to Devon, and I remember recently one of our boot campers saying, I just keep remembering that. And it is, you're only ever one meal or one workout away from getting back on track. So it doesn't matter what's happened. The next meal you have could be the right meal. The next time you work out will be getting you back into workout. So it's the hardest thing sometimes to get back on track, but it's only ever one meal or workout away. So hopefully people remember that, because I think it's just so simple, a bit like the FIT principle. It's so simple. So let's do it.
Wonderful. I love that, because it is easy to slip away, isn't it? If you kind of had one cheat meal, to just kind of give up or miss the workout and just sort of leave it. But this is wonderful. Only one meal or one workout away from getting back on track. Love it. Thank you so much. Thank you, Zita. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody. That was today's episode with Zita Alves from Zest Bootcamp. You can send me any questions that you have at anna@datingcoach.uk, or you can reach me on Twitter handle @datingcoach. I would love to hear from you. Until next week, I send you lots of love and take care.